Three, two, one. Welcome back to the Click to Close podcast. My name is Travis Halverson, and I am joined by Mr. Oh my God, I almost died.
You okay?
Yeah, I know. Joined by with the Mr.
Homemade pizza getting you.
Dude, seriously, man.
Preston
guy.
What's up, buddy?
No, we got a pizza thing for a wedding. It was like a whole create a pizza kit because everybody just knows.
So you got heartburn and you
jury
burnt
duty, and then they did that. Dude, we got to talk about that.
Jury duty.
That's got to change. There's got to be a better system to that.
I don't know.
But it's a question. Hey, come on. I was literally there, and I was like, hold on a second. What's going on? I sat there.
When do you have to go back?
I have to call back every day at 6 to see if they're like, today is the day.
Do you have to go today?
12:30.
You have to go again?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, I can call again and see.
That's not good.
Yeah, they said call back
But at least
6.
they give you 13 cents a mile.
Oh, dude.
That doesn't even cover your gas.
Okay, it doesn't need to be distance. It needs to be time traveled. Because especially for us here, like the 501 going back towards Conway was miserable.
Whoa, gosh.
In the morning, in the afternoon. It doesn't even change. It doesn't matter the time. It's still just terrible. Yeah, I was literally like, I got on the call for Shut Up and Dial. And then Bailey's like, are you in your car? I was like, yes. It's like, I am at my car. Oh, man. But yeah, no, that was just terrible.
So I got jury duty. Somehow I got out of it. I submitted some form.
What?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you probably... I couldn't necessarily say my business was going to fail if I didn't work.
Yeah, true.
I was not the business owner, so I couldn't say that. Because there was someone in there who was like... Actually, there was multiple people that were just like, my name's like blah, 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 Leonard, and I own Leonard, like, plumbing. He's like, I am the only person working. I have to work in order for my business to survive. So they're like... Then the judge like asks you deeper questions on that. I'm like, what other question is there to ask this man? Yeah, man, go. Like he was like, so no one else is ever working for you? He's like, no. He's like, and there's nobody else that can pick up your job to. I'm like, he's like, what? I was like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah, I submitted mine, so I didn't have to go.
Oh yeah, I was panicked because I didn't submit my thing, and so I'm like reading the bottom. I was like, if this paper is not turned in, you'll be charged with contempt of court. And I'm like, that's not good. Like, okay. I don't know. I know that sounds bad.
Yeah,
like I don't want to deal with any of that. But no, dude, I literally would like sit there. They'll do a panel, and like they'll have like I don't know. There's like 200 people in this room, and then they'll be like, all right, we're gonna randomly pick 45 of you.
Were you one of them?
No, I wasn't. At both times, so I was just like sitting there. I was like, but they wait so long.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, this is just.
So what time did you leave there yesterday? You got there at 12:30 and you left at what?
12:54. I drove 45 minutes. Yeah, and that's why I was like, hold on a second, man. Like, I could have just called the number and then, like, but you can't. They're like, oh, come back in. You need to blah, 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 blah. We need you to one more time. But it was apparently because the guy plea dealed. But the funny part was the guy I was sitting next to, he was picked on Monday for the first 45. And then he was there until like 6 o'clock at night. Then they ended up doing a plea deal. And so then they all had to come back in to do another one. And then he got picked again. He goes, hold on a second. And you could tell this man was so mad. And then all of these guys to my left were just like, all got picked also. I'm just sitting in the middle of them and I just did not get picked. And I'm just like, well, guys, have a good rest of your day.
You have to go back tomorrow too?
No, I have to call a number again to find out.
Is it just this week?
Just this week, man. My God. Just this week. I was about to lose my mind. Oh, God. Anyway.
Yeah.
What
are we talking about?
You got out of it?
Yeah.
Dang, man. My mind.
Probably now this is live. I'll probably get picked again.
Yeah, but see, you're a business owner. You can say, yo, not going to work without me.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, which is funny that we're going into it. We're going to talk about patience. Patience and having patience, but also patience in real estate and patience with like lead sources, like new hires, agents, ISAs, all the things. And just like what we're seeing and what we think CEOs are seeing, a little bit different on our side of things. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, for your perspective, just like any leads? Let's just pick like, I don't know, just pick a PVC lead. Like, what do you see if you're going to sign up, like when you first start a team and you sign up with a PPC like organization that's generating leads for you? What averages are you seeing? Like conversion? Like I know obviously like you can't really, conversion's different, but like what do you see?
I mean, we know the average, right? The average, no matter the lead source, is about 360, 70 days, right? if you take all of them, like all the closings. And that's what people, like I always tell people that if you really want to get a real conversion rate, it's not what they want to hear.
Yeah.
This is the only way to do it, is you take a time period of like 18 months.
Yep.
You take the leads that came in the first 6 months.
Yep.
Or 4 months, whatever it is, but it's got to go out at least to get a real conversion rate. Like conversion rate's always going to suck if you just count the leads converted that month.
Yeah,
Like it's just, you know what I mean? You can't get real numbers, but you know, it depends on the lead source. I mean, it depends on, you know, there's so many different things. Like, are you counting every lead for conversion rate? Are you counting every lead? Are you only counting leads with good phone numbers? Are you only counting leads with no phone? You know what I mean? Like, how are you coming up? Are you counting conversion rate based on the ones that you talk to, and then conversion from that point forward? Conversion rate's never a good percentage to use.
Yeah, for sure.
Because nobody does it the same.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they'll exclude this. They'll, oh, well, I'm excluding bad numbers. Well, there's still leads that came in, right? So it's very difficult. But I tell people that the best way to do it is if you look at your conversion, especially in the space we're in, obviously if it's like a low dollar amount, you could run conversion monthly. Like if you're selling shoes or socks or hats or whatever it is, you could look at, you know, your ROI on a monthly basis and get real numbers or better numbers, where it's such a large transaction that
the sales cycle's different.
The sales cycle's a lot longer, you know. So I tell people to really if you're looking for like a conversion rate, one, you got to have good systems in place. You got to have the right systems in place. You need to know what to expect. It's like 20 plus calls, texts, emails combined to have the average conversation. So you have to have that understanding and those things in place. But then once you have those things in place, then you can look at it from, if you got to give any lead source, unless it's just terrible and you're not getting anybody on the phone, and you know every single number is bad, and you know it depends on where the leads are coming from. But to really get a decent amount of numbers, you really need to look at least 12 months. You know, like 18 months is going to be a lot better, and then going back and over 18 months, looking at the first 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and then taking those leads that came in during that time period, extending it out over 18 months, and then seeing how many closings you had come in on that first 6 months or 4 months, whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, well, the reason why I bring that up is just because we see a lot of teams now that are getting off of certain lead sources to go into more of a, like, you know what I mean? They're leaving Zillow, for instance, right? Or like Realtor.com because of like a referral type lead source to get into one they're paying like, you know what I mean? Like $10 a lead, where they're not having to pay a referral on it.
Yeah.
But then they're always asking the question of like, well, when can I expect an ROI? Or when can I expect this? And it's like trying to answer that question is almost me feeling like me being like I feel like a dick sometimes because I'm like, well, how good are your agents? Like, how do your agents handle these types of leads?
And unfortunately, that's the correct response. Like, it is 100%. Once you hand it off, it is totally up to that team or company based on how they're skilled.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they think their agents are skilled, and like us just listening to role plays, you realize they're not that skilled.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, there's I mean that's the problem.
It's not our job to like explain it in a nice way, but like we still have to be like truth tellers when it comes down to like, hey man, like depends on your agent. Like, it really does. It really does.
It depends on the agent's training systems you have, processes. You know, we can tell you exactly what's going to work.
Yeah.
Are you going to hold your agents accountable to that?
Yeah. Because obviously we see teams that crush. Like we see teams that crush a certain lead source, and it's like, hey, this has been copy pasted amongst these other teams, and those other teams do very well at this. Like, are you going to take this map and just follow it? Like,
and they don't, you know, and a lot of times when
they tweak it.
The failure is like, oh, it's different in our market. I mean, how many times have we heard that?
Every day.
Yeah, it's harder to be.
That doesn't work here.
It's harder to get people on the phone here. Blah blah blah. I mean, that's the best way to look at conversion numbers. But you could take the same two teams in the same market, and if they're not following the what they need to follow to be successful, to convert leads, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Like the one that does all the steps and everything else. Like I tell people, like any any lead gen software you use, you could have success with.
Yeah.
Some you're going to have more success with.
Yep.
You know, some people, you know, but like so many people register on so many different websites. Um, if you're just following the steps to keep in front of them, that's what you need to focus on.
Yeah. You'd be proud of me. I now have 7-11-4 memorized.
Okay.
Been great at it. 7 hours of content, 11 different interactions, and 4 different locations.
Oversubscribed.
Oversubscribed. I've been saying it so much because I'm just like, if you think about it, well, it's also the same question I got. When's the best time to call? That's my favorite thing is I look at people, I'm like, right now, like
Yeah.
now is the best time to call. And I always feel bad saying stuff like that because I'm just like, they're hoping like some magic answer, some magic number. It's like, oh, you got to be subscribed to this lead source for.
Yeah, I mean, those are a lot of things we're doing now, like you know, in messaging on emails and in messaging e-alerts. Like, we tie it to the time that they interacted on the website.
Yeah.
Like, people are gonna, a lot of times they have, you know, openings in their day where maybe they have lunch break or they're not working or they're working, and you know, maybe they get off at midnight. Whatever it is, like we've started now, whatever time they're most active is when the e-alerts and, you know, those messages go out. You know, we're getting really heavy in AI on messaging and all that. So it's going to, you know, because I look at it like the more engagement we could create based on the leads that we deliver, the more inquiries that are going to happen.
Yep.
The more inquiries that happen, typically, are further down the funnel.
Yep.
The happier the teams are going to be.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to do it.
Yeah, they're not going to do
I mean, they're not going to do it to the level we are. So, and that's other things too we're doing. Like after somebody registers, you know, after 7 days or 3 days or whatever, we're starting to send texts. Say, hey, did you connect with Travis in Myrtle Beach? Hey, did you connect with
Nice.
so-and-so in Myrtle Beach, whoever it is?
The team that we send it to. Nice.
Yeah. So, you know, those are all the things that we're focused on building. You know, and then obviously with the app launching in Q4, all of a sudden it becomes push notifications. You know, but obviously the consumer could easily turn those push notifications off. We're not going to give agents free reign to do a bunch of push notifications to the consumer because they'll just leave.
Yeah.
So,
Just push them off the site. That's
well, push them off the app.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
off the app.
you know, so many people, if they're on their phone, they would much rather search on an app than they would on a website.
Yeah. No, and it makes sense, and it's always interesting when people give us ask those questions. Like they're just like, oh, do you do this with this lead source? You don't do things. I don't think you do things different. You shouldn't be doing things different per lead source. You just treat them all like they're gonna buy or sell real estate, and you
No,
don't
I mean you definitely don't treat them different
Well, yeah.
per lead source. You treat them different
based off behaviors.
based on how they come in. Like,
Yeah.
a home value lead, you're not going to treat like a buyer lead.
Yeah.
You know, a pre-approval mortgage lead, you're not going to treat. But that's the only
The
difference.
language changes, the
Yeah.
cadence of follow up, and things like that shouldn't be changing based
Yeah.
off of. Well, that's why I always feel like some people do. Like people are like, well, what are you calling this lead multiple times? It's like, yeah, every lead you're calling multiple times. You're supposed to be calling every lead multiple times.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just a question that people always love to ask. And I always just feel bad sometimes when I have to tell them the truth. And it's like they're hoping for the magic pill of like, oh, this is that secret thing that nobody knows about that's going to convert the lead.
Yeah.
And it's like, nope, it's not. Conversion, they're like, who converts more? I'm just like, what even is that? What do you mean who converts more? It's like the person who's calling more, person who's texting more. And that's what we always talk about. The average number of contact attempts per lead usually indicates the number one agent on the team.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just usually standard. Like if they're not the number one agent, will soon be the number one agent if they stay where they're at with things.
Yeah, I mean, definitely conversations, contact. You know what I mean? Like, not all the time is the person calling the most successful.
Yeah.
You know, but the one that's actually getting through and having the conversation, definitely you can measure by that. I mean, you can measure by call, but just some people never can become good on the phone.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I mean, it also, when I go back to talking about patience, it's just like that's the teams or the agents that have that long-term vision of it, of like, okay, I know this lead comes in, they might say they're just looking, but in 6 months from now, I know they're going to reach back out or they're going to do something. It's just like the same consistent map that they follow. And I feel like those make successful agents. And it's like when people are trying to hire like an ISA, they're like, well, what's the average turnaround in getting this to be profitable? I'm like, well, I mean, how good are your agents? Like, I could send a lead to Preston right now, and he would sell this house tomorrow. I could send this lead to your brand new agent who's been in business 90 days and probably never.
And that's a problem too. Like they direct the cost of the lead and just measure the success of it based on the income that exact lead brings in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's so much you could do with lead gen that if you use it as a recruiting tool or use it over different things, you got to think like you got to have leads coming in to generate good training.
Yep.
You got to have leads coming in to recruit agents.
Yep.
You know, so if you look at it and you take the cost of leads and you blend it over all these different things you're doing that you can't do without leads, that's really where, like for me, you know, in Palms, we look at that lead source, that cost, but then you blend it all over like recruiting and the agents we're bringing in and the training we're doing and everything else because of those leads.
Yeah.
Without those leads, we can't do any of that, so we can't grow, we can't scale. So that's what I tell. I mean, you need to take it beyond just that individual lead. But I mean, you should have ROI. Like you shouldn't be spending a ton of money on lead source and having no success.
Yeah.
Then you got an agent problem. You got a training problem. You got a coaching problem. You got a systems problem.
Well, that's why when we were talking about when teams look at, like, teams are struggling with business, the first thing they cut is what? Coaching? Because they can't tie an ROI to it most of the time?
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard for them to do.
It's coaching, marketing. Marketing's typically the one that goes first. Coaching, you know, lead gen is not the first, but it will soon follow.
Yeah.
You know, that's always too in like the tech world, like with what we're doing now. Is a lot of companies, like investment companies, ask about churn, and the worry a lot of times with any kind of real estate tech is they know agents churn like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're going to cut something and blame it on that something, then go chase the new something.
Yep.
And, you know, that's one of the biggest issues is, like you said, they're looking for that perfect thing that does not exist.
That doesn't exist. Yeah. And it's like, I feel like a lot of them will end up just getting discouraged when we tell them that.
Yeah. It's no fun.
Yeah. So I mean, just even talking back on it, we'll wrap it up. But I mean, having patience is on the CEO. Having patience is on the agents. Like, you have to have a long-term mindset on all lead sources.
You do. You just got to stay consistent in training and coaching and getting your agents to do it. You know, show them the way. Sit in there with them, coach them, be in there calling with them. You know, doing those things. Let them see you doing the activities that you're preaching.
Yeah.
You know, that's really what it's about.
Yeah.
Like if you're preaching all this stuff and then you go to play on the golf course every day at 9 or 10 o'clock, probably don't get a lot of respect from your agents.
That's so true.
You know, you got to be in there, and you don't have to be calling with them, but, you know, be in there, coaching, training, be present, give them the tools, you know, hire other coaches if you're not good at it. But there's so much free information out there.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much free information out there. Not saying believe it all, but there's a ton of things that John puts out, we put out, other coaches put out. You know, there are webinars and everything.
I mean, we do a weekly training. Literally every Wednesday, there's a weekly training that anybody can attend.
Anybody, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's so much free content out there that if you're, you know, you don't have to rush into coaching. When you can afford coaching, do coaching.
Yeah. You could even literally build a whole model around it. Like, hey, in order to get leads, you need to go to every Wednesday's training.
I mean, you know,
it's free.
If you say you can't afford coaching, that means you need coaching.
Yeah.
No, you need to be able to afford coaching before you hire a coach. Like, that's part of it. Like, take all the free information you could get and implement the free information from the coaches that are out there that are giving free information. And then once you can afford,
like, that right there will help you afford a coach to actually hire.
Like, you know, listen to John, get all the free information he gives. So much of it he gives away free. And then when you can afford to hire John.
What did I think it was Sandeep that said it to me. He goes, if you love my free shit, you love my page for shit. Just like, that makes sense. I mean, it does. Everybody gives out a lot of free information. It's like, but how much can they really pour into you when when you're actually paying them? Like, you get so much more time with that person.
Yeah, I mean it's tied to coaching calls, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely they're definitely holding you accountable to what you're being coached on.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's what it comes down to. But cool. Be patient. Be consistent. Come to our meetings every Wednesday
Yeah.
because it'll help you. So,
All right. See y'all next time.
bye.